that if you hear about reparations, get this very firmly fixed in your mind. You're not here for a parlor discussion. It's not something to talk about that's nice. If you don't get reparations, black folk, you're through in this country. Let me be that very specific for you. You see, what's happening to black Americans is that black Americans have been systematically, socially engineered into the lowest level of a real-life monopoly game. You do not own and control a sufficient amount of anything to be competitive in America. And you've been marginalized now for 400 years. You're getting ready to be buried. You can get buried under at least a whole broad groups of ambiguous groupings. That's everything from culture groups, language groups, and gender groups. You're going down. It's no longer an issue. You better get reparations and get it fast. Is going to a new period called benign neglect, okay? Or callous indifference, right. Or out of sight, out of mind. So then it said, so Monahan came up with a policy by the late 60s saying, or early 70s saying, it's time for us to move from focusing on black folk to focus on Indians, Hispanics, and women.
Real life examples of benign neglect.
Why not target the African American community? Why not say then, this is for you, this is for African Americans? If there was a banking crisis, then you target money for the banks. If there was a national disaster, you target your money for the national for disaster relief.
That's not how America works. America works when all of us are pulling together and everybody is focused on making sure that every single person has opportunity.
So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No, because whatever benefits that black family will benefit that community and society as a whole in the country.
That's the goddamn shit. I'm tired of this motherfucking shit. Damn, Kanye. And then other people got to come to your defense, and then you slapping at their hands like, no, I'm good. Let me go ahead and drown. God damn, man. It's flabbergasting, man. Like, maybe this dude really is not well. Because just like Chappelle said, you know, I know a little bit from Hollywood. A lot of Jews. I mean, a lot. And so to say something so crazy when you know everybody that you are doing business with, there's not one business meeting that you are going into, Kanye West, that does not involve them people. How on earth would you ever go out there and then start shitting on black folks? This dude's on the island, man, and it's by his own doing. So when you got somebody like the minister calling all the FOI to town and they already on one accord, ready to stand with the brother, you know, Reza Islam can't even make the rally because he's on post. And just to have this dude go out there, but I think it's a slight. Oh, man. Really, dude? It's like you can't help somebody that is looking to destroy themselves. What we can say is, hey, man, Kanye kind of got to eat this one. With Kyrie and Chappelle, we got them brothers, man. They good. They solid brothers. We got them down pat. They within the fold. But they ain't doing shit off code. I mean, good grief. Black Star TV, I see up on stage, my brother. You can go ahead and unmute yourself, my brother. Go ahead.
Peace, love, and reparations to everybody in the room. What's up, Black Alpha? What's good? Pete Zilla, my brother. What's going on?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I wanted to speak on Kyrie, actually. I was talking to a friend of mine, and Kyrie actually held his ground, and I think that this really isn't about that thing that he posted, and it's really about 2 years ago when he didn't take that vaccine, or the jab, sorry. When he didn't take the jab, and he missed out, because Kyrie gets about 300 and something, 80,000 or 400 some thousand a game. So he missed a lot of games. And when I went back in his Twitter feed before he posted that thing from Amazon, the video or the book, he actually had posted that New York has to pay him back. It was somebody else's tweet, but he retweeted that. So he already knew that he was about to get that bread back. And I think that they are trying to, make him miss out on them games now, especially as Black Alpha mentioned, they extending, like he's supposed to come back, but they're extending it because they know that they're going to have to pay him back millions. And one thing the NBA doesn't like, they don't like them brothers sitting down and getting paid for nothing, because they actually did that to Derrick Rose before when his knee was hurt and he kept saying he wasn't ready to come back yet. He needed some more time. They was getting on him. They got Stephen A. Smith and the same coons to get on him and stuff like that. So again, I don't think that is. I really don't think that it's about that. I think it's because he won that war. But a lot of people don't want to go back there because it's like 2 years ago. You know, sometimes we be stuck in right now. So again, if you go back, he actually won that, and he didn't ever take that. That jab, and he really rocks with Rizza Islam. So I think that's another reason. You know, they like, man, he really got the back of the community, and that's what's going on. But I also wanted to say too that brothers that they have a big media conglomerate, and they're spending billions and billions and billions of dollars, and we don't have 10% of that, and we reaching more of the masses of our people than them, and I know that they hate that because we got celebrities and we got trust me, we have the people on the street, which the gangsters, the drug dealers, the Bloods and Crip, the gang members. So again, a lot of people are watching, even y'all. You know what I'm saying? So again, keep doing what you're doing, and I just wanted to say my piece there. And thank you,
man. Shout out to you, my brother. And great point, man, that you made about, because I did a live on that, and that was my first chiming in on the whole Kyrie incident altogether. It's like, is this more about what happened before? So is this about his previous stand? Because let's be clear, that brother didn't say nothing. So when you have something like him being bold enough in the face of all of the jab shame that they was doing to black folks, again, I see it. I definitely see the angle. That's why one of the first things I brought up was like, is this more about him not taking that shit? Because basically it's a black man standing on a square. So really that's what it comes down to. He stood for something, and we don't want to have our paid for Negroes starting to get wise and start thinking that they need to start taking up black causes. So I definitely see that angle at play, my brother. What about you, Alpha?
See, this is why I love dealing with the family, man. Y'all brothers is intelligent. Much love. Our sisters as well. I love this because y'all say things that literally accelerate my thoughts and keep me on edge and keep me on game, man. I appreciate that. That's a good point, Black Star. That's a real good point. Because if we are talking about buck breaking, then it does tie into the plantation where Kyrie, from last year and the decisions he made, he become an outlaw. And we all know how they have to deal with outlaws. If they can't get you here, they're going to get you down the line. You feel me? So that's a damn good point. And we have to actually just say that's what it is. That's exactly what it is. Where Shaq and those guys are known, coons, sellouts, so therefore they get treated in a sellout fashion, where Kyrie was acting as if an outlaw, being an outlaw, and therefore they're going to go ahead and treat him like an outlaw. So they're going to watch every little thing he does. They're going to try to jump on him for every little item that they can find. This is exactly what they do. They may not get you today, they may get you tomorrow. You feel me? Matter of fact, we were just talking about Michael Jackson, right? What happened? Michael Jackson started doing what? He started becoming an outlaw. He started bucking the system, right? What they end up doing to Michael Jackson, they start putting charges on him because he was being an outlaw in the music industry. He wasn't going out there singing and dancing and making these folks billions of dollars. Mike was making billions, fuck millions. Mike was making billions of dollars. So they said, okay, you gonna play ball? Because trust and believe, they came to Michael Jackson multiple times and asked him if he's gonna play ball. And then he didn't play ball. He went and bought catalogs. He bought the Beatles, Sony, got all Sony stuff. And then next thing you know, here come the charges. Here come all the slander. Same thing with Prince, as we were speaking about Prince earlier. Same thing happened to him. They tried to get Prince to play ball and let them basically control his career. And what he do? He went on his whole thing when he was Prince was a goddamn outlaw. You want to talk about an outlaw? That guy was a complete outlaw to the music industry. As a matter of fact, everything these people are doing nowadays about being independent, Prince was doing that shit back in the early 90s. So therefore, what they do, they found something to stick on him. It's exactly what's going on right now with Brother Kyrie Irving. They seen what he did last year, and they say, oh, you're not going to play ball. You're not going to do what we're doing. We have a $1 trillion initiative to pump what they got pumping. Everybody knows what it was. They all did that to him last year, and he buffed the system. He said, hell to the no. While everybody from LeBron James, all the other Bucks was saying, we're going to go along with it. Kyrie said no. They said, okay, we got you.
We may not get you today. We may not get you tomorrow, but we will get you, because anybody who is an outlaw, this is what happens. It goes back, like we're saying, back to the plantation. You had a brother or sister who said they wasn't going to go and pick cotton all day long. They weren't going to sit there and kiss master's ass. They weren't going to sit there and do the hold down and all the other shit that everybody else is doing. They may not got you now, but they'll get you later. They may not get you at your career. They may get you outside your career, or they'll get you within your career. It doesn't matter. One way or another, they will get you for being an outlaw, for not operating within the system, because it's all a system of control. It's all a system of control. And the most powerful thing a black man can do is to not go by the system of control. But as that's powerful and empowering to us, it's the worst nightmare for the dominant society. They got to make sure that we're all in line. And once you, matter of fact, didn't that person come out and say, put Kyrie in his place? Am I wrong? Did I hear that? Did I hear that, Zilla?
Yes, sir, you did, my brother.
That right there proves the point that our brother Black Star just made. That's the point right there. He had to be put in his place. The fact that he wasn't going along with it last year or now this year, that shows you that he's an outlaw who's not operating within being in his place. So therefore, here comes the slander. And I'm going to say this, family. We can this recording, the cameras is rolling. Okay, let's get this straight. I would say within the next 6 months to a year, there'll be something completely different that they're going to say about Kyrie Irving that has nothing to do with last year, and it has nothing to do with this year. If we do not see Kyrie Irving come out and, bow down to these people and make a bullshit apology and kiss their ass, and basically, put it this way, the more Kyrie has came out and not went along, the more that clock is ticking, the more they're going to get upset with him. And I would say within the next couple of months to a year, there will be some story about Kyrie Irving that has nothing to do with either one of these. And that is when they're really sticking it to him. So let's all keep our eyes focused on that, because that's going to be coming down the pike very, very, very soon. And understand we all calling that right now at the new black media, because I knew people personally when Michael Jackson bought the rights or whatever to the music. Everybody said, well, they're going to get him on something. And then boom, it came down. So don't be surprised. And here, a couple months from now, a year from now, they'll say Kyrie Irving did this, or this. It's the same exact thing, the same exact play.
Well, it's funny that you said that too, and going back to the Prince part, because I'm just thinking back, while he was living, especially around them last few years, because a lot of my people were around him. So there's never been anything that was kind of related to him about like drug use and shit like that, because that. But I will say this, if anything, he probably was on the painkillers, because he did have to have surgery on his feet. But but outside of that, just from my own recollection of remembrance, none of them ever said anything about him being on that. He was always the introvert dude, and but shit, I could definitely say, hell, I ain't well my one night with him. So. Hey, and he put a lot of people I know to work. So, down to from hairstylists, makeup stylists, and all types of shit like that. So, he was one of them behind the scenes, down ass brothers, because everybody that worked around him was pretty much black. I don't think he didn't have a lot of non-black folks working for him at all, to be quite honest. But for like public consumption's sake, you'll probably see him around some ambiguous looking people. But nah, man, when you was looking at who was really riding with this dude, nah, he, like I said, yeah, good luck finding a white person in his crew. If anything, they're probably like the stage hands or something like that. But I never saw nobody like that around him, especially in his inner circle. Nope. Even his bodyguards was black. So yeah, that's just it's like, wait a minute. Yeah, they really made that dude a drug addict in over a weekend. And he never moved like that. That's crazy.
I remember I remember when the situation happened, just sitting there watching the news. And it's kind of what we talk about again, where anytime they have something bad on a brother or sister, they speak in definitive terms. Every time it's something bad about someone from the dominant society, they speak in very abstract terms. And I remember watching that with Prince, and by the end of the weekend, even though people were coming out and saying it was a lie about him being a drug addict, it was like people that were close to the situation, as you speak of, one of his bodyguards was like, yo, this is lie. This is a straight lie. And I never heard from that brother again. They got him completely out of there. So they do this. You know what I'm saying? The Michael. Anybody heard from Conrad Murray? When's the last time anybody heard from that guy? You know what I'm saying? They understand how they do it, and they use the media as it. So this is why we always talk about counterintelligence and being able to actually put out things and statements that we can actually have a narrative. One thing that they do not like is that we do have a new black media, and that's why we got to make sure that the new black media is never underestimated. And when I say new black media, family, mind you, I'm not just talking about people with YouTube shows. I'm not just talking about people who host Twitter spaces. We are all a part of it, okay? We are all a part of it. Half of the news cycle comes from everybody. Each one teach one. So when I say the new black media, I'm really talking about the black grassroots. And this is the beauty of nowadays, is that we can counter a lot of the lies, because I remember back in the old days, they would just tell a lie and it was what it was. You couldn't say nothing about it. It was it. That was it. Whatever the news said was the truth. Now we can actually counter that with real brothers and sisters who say that ain't real. And y'all know we be dropping receipts. We got receipts for days. Like I said, it's to the point now, we pass receipts, man. We giving out spoilers. You feel me? We're really calling out things before they even do it. So that's a credit to us, and we got to go ahead and pop our own collars on that, because no longer do we just sit back and wait for them to tell us what the story is. We actually tell them what it is, and then we tell them that we reject any falsehoods or fake narratives that they place upon us, and we're going to control our own destiny throughout the images, throughout the terms, throughout the words, throughout the statements and articles that are presented. We're going to make sure that they're written in black grassroots handwriting.
What I'm saying to you is that reparations is not a nicety. It's not something nice to have for black folk. It is now an absolute necessity. If you do not get reparations soon, black folk, as I told you before, are through. Reparation is not a nicety, it's a necessity.
What are the conditions? What are the conditions that precipitated black folk getting into this dilemma? And what black labor, white wealth did, it tracked 800 years of history in very systematic terms to show you every strategy, every technique, every law, every public custom, and every public policy that was used to enslave black folk around the world, and to maldistribute almost 100% of all this nation's wealth, power, resource, privileges, businesses, and controls of all levels of government into the hands of the dominant white society. And what slavery and Jim Crow segregation did with black folk, it intentionally maldistributed all the resources away from black folk and created a real-life monopoly game.